everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the knee-slapping K-pop podcast. I am Kayla, and today I am here with Sammi.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk about a show that's kind of a K-drama, kind of not a K-drama.
It is just the culmination of everything Netflix has been doing for the last 3 years.
Yep.
It is K-drama, it is teen drama, it is both.
It is both.
EXO Kitty.
Yes. We've, I think, made references to this show.
Yes.
And that we were going to watch it in, previous episodes of this podcast. And fully will say that we were expecting this show to be terrible, given...
Oh, yeah.
Just, that Netflix was making it, and Netflix makes terrible K-dramas.
Terrible
and just,
K-dramas.
The marketing and the trailer just seemed very bad in, every way.
Yeah. And also the fact that it just because it's a spinoff of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and we also didn't like those movies.
Those movies are not good.
Those
I do not
movies
like
are
them.
too American teen drama for us.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Is the most pleasant surprise of the year.
It is.
I'm so happy with it.
Shockingly a good show, and honestly was not expecting anything from it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great show.
I had such a good time. So I think we're gonna let's just do a little non-spoiler thing before we go into, because my favorite part of the show is that there's so many twists.
Nothing
is what I expected.
And the twists start happening pretty immediately.
Oh yeah.
So I was given a completely different idea of what the show was gonna be about given the trailer that I had seen. So it was a pleasant surprise.
Because the trailer is giving stereotype. The trailer is giving love triangle.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer is giving bitchy mean girl.
The trailer was
giving
Emily and Paris
boys over flowers.
Emily and
it's giving
Paris
Emily and Paris meets boys over flowers.
Yeah.
It's giving that.
Which is not the vibe that I wanted.
No, not at all. This show is very charming. This show's very cute. I think that the show, I don't know, it's the one thing I'll give it this, and I think it's its biggest plot point. All the episodes are 35 minutes. Around 35 minutes.
So great that they're half hour.
Perfect for this
Love
show.
That.
I think if you try to up it to 45, maybe you can get away with it. Maybe there's dead space. If you try to make it an actual K-dramas, because real K-dramas are at least a full hour. At least a full hour, if not an hour and a half.
Too much at that point.
It would be too long. This show would not work with an hour and a half. Or even an hour. I think it'd be too long. The other thing, it's very, I've seen a lot of people complain about its tropiness. I think that this show, much like a lot of things, is a very niche show.
Yeah.
Because it's not full K-drama. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a little bit, with a lot of things, with a lot of the twists wouldn't happen in a K-drama. A stereotypical K-drama. Mm-hmm. And then it's not a full American teen drama. It's slightly more innocent than that. It feels like a good mix between the two.
Right.
And the thing is, if you're looking for a K-drama, I can see a lot of K-drama fans really not liking the show.
And
I can see a lot of American fans really not liking the show.
It's a little bit too much of a teen drama for the K-drama audience, and it is, weirdly too much a K-drama for people who just want a Western teen romance show. So I think it does a really good job at being simultaneously both of those things, and that's kind of what I wanted and expected from the show. So that's probably why we like it so much, is because it's not like I watch a lot of the really bad teen dramas. That's not a thing I'm super into, but I used to watch that genre of show.
Again, I think that if the teen dramas that you're looking for on Netflix are more of your Heartstopper Young Royals type,
yes,
go for this show. If the teen dramas on Netflix you're watching are I know it's not a Netflix teen show, but your Gossip Girl style or that kind of show,
or
it's not
Riverdale
that.
or
Riverdale,
stuff,
or if you're even a big fan of To All the Boys I've Loved Before and the kissing booth and all of those type of things, this is not that.
It feels very starkly different in tone from To All the Boys I Loved Before and your typical teen romance movies.
Yeah. Or if you're really into the Bridgerton, Stranger Things, side of Netflix, also does not fit in that.
Yeah.
I think it really does fit into Young Royals and Heartstopper. Why is that one not coming to my head today?
Can never remember it.
It really just is there and gone today. But I've seen Heartstopper. Heartstopper's really good. I have not actually seen Young Royals, but the vibes are similar.
Yep. just to like literally just give like a synopsis of what the trailer of the show tells you, it's about,
which is not the correct vibe.
Yes,
the trailer is terrible.
It's a terrible trailer. It really does not represent the show well at all. But I think that's probably purposeful,
on purpose,
in a way.
Yeah.
So it's about Catherine Song Covey, aka Kitty, the titular character, who is the youngest of the 3 siblings in the To All the Boys I Loved Before book franchise, I guess. Trilogy, whatever that is. But she, without the knowledge of her parents, applies for a scholarship at this international school in Korea called KISS, and gets in. Her parents let her go. She mainly goes because she has a quote-unquote boyfriend who lives there and is wanting to surprise him. Her long-distance
boy.
Long-distance boyfriend realizes...
but also makes the excuse that it's the same school her mother went to, which, again, she totally also, not for a boy.
Right. There is a lot of aspects of this, of her wanting to sort of be closer to her mother, and, experience her culture more, because her mom did go to the school. She got the same scholarship her mom got, and since she never got to know her mom, she does kind of want to find a way to connect to her, and that storyline does come back in the show more than I thought it would, which that's kind of nice.
Yeah, kind of.
But then she goes and she's in South Korea. She realizes that her long distance boyfriend has another girlfriend, and that's kind of all the trailer tells you.
And then she meets this other guy who is
the two roommates, friends of her long distance boyfriend. It is a lot of shenanigans, and that's kind of the rest of the show, is the shenanigans.
Yes. And if that's, I mean, to be honest with you, that is on paper what happens.
Yes. That is what happens in episode 1 of this show, and then you get the real big plot twist right at the end of episode 1, and then it takes a turn for, I think, the better on overall.
Yeah. So now we'll get into spoilers. I think so click away now. I highly recommend it. This show is, it's honestly 10 half-hour episodes.
We shoved this episode into our podcast schedule because we were expecting the show to be so bad, and then actually enjoyed it a lot. So honestly,
we watched
highly recommend.
Look, the show came out yesterday, and we're recording this podcast today because we just had a really good night watching the thing. Like, we had a blast.
It was a great show.
It was a good time.
Maria also watched the show, but Maria can't record with us today, so she's not here.
No.
Maria also watched it, and she did send us a statement to read.
We will be reading the statement later, I think. But honestly speaking, this show is just a delight little watch. Watch it with your friend. Have it on. I will say, very easy show to watch at 1.5 speed because it does feel a little slow.
It's a very easy watching show, for sure.
Yeah, binge it. It's a lot of fun.
I had one of my friends message me last night, and she's like, "Did you hear about this show? I think you would like it." And I was like, "Joke's on you, I've already seen the whole thing."
Joke's on you. It took a solid couple hours, and we had a great time. It feels very much like just a really long movie. It does. And I had a good time.
It does.
It doesn't work if this show wouldn't work if you went it down a movie. It does need to be a show.
And there is too much going on for it to be a movie. Yeah.
Yes. Because you lose so much if you had to cut. Because there's 2 main plots in the show. I think now we're getting into spoilers. Yep. And I think that the 2 main plots we have to go with is we have the romances, and then we have
the family shenanigans.
Family shenanigans. And then I think in the romances we can talk about like the sub-romance.
Yes.
So, spoilers. Leave now if you don't want to hear it. Because
we're warning you again because it's a big spoiler.
It's a big spoiler. Alright, they're gone. This show is so much gayer than I was expecting,
gay.
And I love it.
The show is super gay, and it's both so gay into the fact that they're lesbians, and that's like a big plot point. Like, a big plot point is the lesbians.
We have lesbian representation. We have bisexual representation. We have gay representation.
It's so
we have
gay.
all of the representations. And I also like that Kitty
I didn't come into the show expecting that at all. But honestly,
I came in expecting.
Great.
I knew that I knew Q was gay.
Right,
I think that was in the marketing somewhere.
Right.
That him and Florian situation was like in the marketing.
Right.
But I was expecting it to be the side ship,
the main side story.
The lesbians. When the lesbians happened, my actual reaction was, "Ooh, yay, lesbians!" Because that's not what you expect from these shows.
Absolutely not.
I'm so happy for it.
The main plot point we get at the end of episode 1 is, so we see this girl, her name's Yuri, and she is texting someone her phone named Baby. And given the trailer, they're leading you to believe that Baby is Day, who is
the whole time
her long distance ex-boyfriend. Turns out that Baby is a girl named Juliana. And
dun, dun, dun.
Her mom found out that she is probably a lesbian. So she now, and that's bad for her because she comes from this like really like she's like an heiress family. Of like some type of hotel owning.
I think
company.
Her dad is. So I think the main problem, and is that the dad is trying to acquire like a hotel chain that's like super conservative.
Yeah.
So they're like, lesbian daughter, not going to be a good idea anyway.
No.
And so they were like, let's just, and I think Juliana is then just said to have just been like kicked out of this school because the mom is like, she can't be here.
Somewhere else. Yeah.
But, so I think we got to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So this girl, Kitty, we're going to call her Kitty. Kitty sits her dad and stepmother down and is like, I have a PowerPoint. I need to leave tomorrow for Korea.
Yeah.
This was my favorite part.
I
applied
to this school and got this scholarship.
And
I need to leave tomorrow.
And also not needing any parental signature at any point.
Apparently.
No financial records. Nothing. They checked nothing. She got a visa all by herself and she's only a junior in school. Like, this is like, she's like 16.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I think this is where you see that it is an American K-drama. The timeline makes absolutely no sense because this implies that this Korean school works on the American school. I mean, that might happen with international, but like, why would they follow the American school calendar?
They do not follow the American school calendar in South Korea.
Because schools in Korea, if you look at it, a school year in Korea usually starts at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And by beginning of the year, I mean like February or March, something like that.
Yeah.
And then she is and her dad just says to her, school starts in a week, which implies that it's the end of summer and it's September and she's going into school.
Definitely summer when we see her in the start of the show.
So again, that's the part where this is very much, that's the part that's giving American, which is like, you kind of you just go into it this is an American high school in Korea. It's fine.
Sure. Yep.
So she goes, she has a meet not cute with Minho on the plane.
Yep.
On the airport.
Minho, what a character he is.
We'll get to Minho, because I have the most complicated feelings about Minho. Mm-hmm. So she gets there. She gets run over immediately by a car, because of course she does. Again, this is also where you know that it's not a K-drama, because that would have been played like 4 times and so much more dramatic than her getting slightly bumped with this car.
Yes.
By Yuri's car.
Yuri's car, yes. That's
her driver.
Yep. Then they pick her up and they bring her to school.
Because she has no idea what she's doing, because she did very little research into what she was doing.
Themes, there was very little thought put into this entire plan.
It's fine. It all ended up fine. Because I think her main thing was like, well, Day will guide me. I'm like, that's a lot to put on him.
That's a lot to put on him when he doesn't even know you're here to begin with.
When he doesn't know you're coming at all. So she gets there, and this is where we also find out that Day is a poor boy.
He's very poor. Like,
very
destitute poor.
Destitute poor. Cannot pay for his school tuition. So then, conveniently on the same day that his girlfriend shows up, he makes a deal with Yuri to be her fake boyfriend, because Yuri's using this fake boyfriend as a way to like steer her parents away from the Juliana thing. And so she's like, well, I have had a fake boyfriend all summer, and you're gonna meet him.
Yep.
Turns out that Day's father is the family chauffeur. So this is where I want to go on a mini tangent. Okay. So we find out that Day's dad has been this rich conglomerate family like, chauffeur for
family.
What appears to be years. It appears that he has been working for this family for years. We see things of like, one, that Day, he has a little sister. She has like ragged shoes. Shoes that are like have massive holes in them.
Sister.
And he is literally like taping them back together. So you're telling me this man who is this rich family chauffeur, one, can't pay his kids' school fees Because it's not like he's throwing all the money at the school fees and then not buying his kid shoes. The school fees aren't paid and there are no shoes.
Right. So it's like they are paying this man pennies for his job.
They pay this man pennies.
Which I guess like, makes sense when it comes out that her father gets into this like massive scandal because he's yelling at his staff and like throwing a tantrum for seemingly no reason.
For no reason. It's not like it's like a provoked tantrum. Yeah. No, he's just yelling at his staff. From what seems like is a normal occurrence because no one in the family seems fazed.
No.
Not even their PR people are pretending to. No, everyone's just like, and you did this, and we must deal with it.
And since Day has now been in here and introduced as the boyfriend, he is now being used as like a
scapegoat,
for like all of this like rich man's like cover-ups and stuff, and all of his apology tour he has to go
because they decide that like, well, he's been a dick to staff before. Now we just have to introduce a staff member's kid as the new member of the family and gave him an internship that he does not want. Day does not want
it. Paid for his school fees. He's like, oh yeah, see, this is my daughter's boyfriend and we're going to give him all these things and whatever and give him all these opportunities because I am clearly a nice man and all of this.
Clearly. And I think we can just finish. Yeah.
Well, Day also has to sign an NDA because now that he's wrapped up in this businessman's all of his nonsense and whatever.
Yeah. So essentially, Kitty goes to like the welcome back dinner, and so she sees Day. Day is there with his for the night fake girlfriend Yuri, and he's like, I didn't know you were coming. I'm so sorry. I can explain. Does not get the chance to explain. The next day, immediately gets an NDA. So he's like, well, fuck. He's like,
well, now I can't say anything, and
I can't say shit because I can't pay this NDA off. Right. Absolutely not. Because we also find out that like Kitty ain't good at secrets.
No.
Kitty is not good at secrets. Even though Kitty, like, immediately the next day when they have the press conference is like, well, this is fake.
Kitty immediately clocks, like, this is fake. Like, they're in a fake relationship. And I think she knows because her sister did the same thing.
Yeah, she's like, I have flashbacks. Like, I know.
I understand.
I got it. We got I know the code words.
The fact that she figures that out, honestly, I think makes her way less annoying. Because I feel
Fair enough. Kitty could be so annoying.
She could be so annoying. And she's actually
and not that she isn't a little bit annoying, because we'll get to the plot point where she is annoying.
But, like, having her figure that out, I feel like it just makes her more endearing,
And not just be, like, constantly banging on the same point. Like, I got it. You're
right.
The other thing I want to point out is that, so, we find two things out. The first thing is that, because Kitty has a Korean name, but her Korean name is Song as her first name. And it's the fact that could be a boy's name, so she gets put in the boys' dorm. So she is technically roommates with Day, Minho, and their roommate Q. Q is American, so he's also there. So he's part of the multicultural. Yep. Everything's great.
Yep.
So she finds that out. And also, I want to put a hole in her being here for her mom and not totally for a boy. Because she finds out Days lies to her, and she's like, well, I'm getting on the first plane back home immediately.
She's like, I'm leaving.
I am leaving. Also, I would love to be, because we only get one, but we'll get to the phone call. It's a very well done phone call with her father. But, like, I want to be there for, like, the multiple phone calls of that night that she definitely had with her dad. That's like,
yes.
They lied to me. I'm coming home. And he's like, okay, sure. Just tell me when the flight is. I'll come pick you up. And then, like, a couple hours later, like, Dad, I'm not coming home.
I'm going to stay here.
He's like, what the fuck? I just bought I don't think this plane ticket is refundable. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like, I love, this father has the patience of a goddamn saint.
I know.
Also, with everything that went on to All the Boys I've Loved Before, that father has the patience of a saint.
He's done so much, yeah.
That single dad here, he's really... God, that poor man. So, yeah, so she's in the room. She chooses to stay. She goes to her first class, and I think that... we'll do the family stuff later. So this guy is mainly in the family stuff, but there's three main adults we have to worry about. So there's Yuri's mom, which is the principal, who apparently was her mom's roommate when they were at the school, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And then there is her teacher. I'm going to call him Alex, even though
I don't
for some
like
reason
calling
these
him
students
Alex.
are calling him Alex.
Right? It's weird.
That's his first name. But he is there, and he is their chemistry? Some kind of science.
Couldn't tell you, to be honest.
He's some kind of science teacher. And then there is Teacher Lee, who is their English teacher?
Probably.
English teacher. Literature teacher?
Something.
Something. There's linguistics and there's science, and that's the only two classes we care about. So they're present. We'll get to them more in the mysterious family storyline later.
Yes.
But yes, so she is there. I want to point out that Kitty is somehow Cupid.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Because for some reason she is just able to be like, oh, you like, she's able to just fucking read body language like 10 out of 10, 100%. She's like, that's a fake relationship. Q, you're in love with Florian. Random nurse loves the janitor. I'm like, are you fucking Cupid? What's going on?
Clocking everybody's personal business.
And is right.
Like, correctly.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. I'm like, she's Cupid.
Yep.
This is by this point, it's a superpower.
Yep.
And I like it because it's very easy to get Q and Florian in the background together. They just sort of like talk once and they're like, now we're gay lovers.
Yes,
yay.
Hooray.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
What else happens in this section? I'm forgetting all of this. Is why we did this the day after we watched the show, because I'm forgetting like the sequence of events.
God, what does happen?
I think, well,
there's a lot of the family stuff happening.
When is Chuseok? Is that before or after the drinking? That's before the drinking party, right? I think so.
I can't remember.
Because I think it's Chuseok,
before
party, camping, end.
Yeah.
Right? If that is not the exact sequence of events, we're gonna go a little. We're gonna be a little off.
Those things happen in the show.
All these things happen in the show. I'm pretty sure that's the sequence of events, but we'll get there. So,
yes, it's Chuseok. Then it's the party.
They do Chuseok. This is the when Dae and Yuri kind of bond a little bit because they're at his family's for Chuseok. And then Minho and Kitty kind of bond a little bit because he cooks for her.
Yeah, they're making all of the fun like traditional Korean foods and everything.
Yep. Also, this is where I want to point out that so Dae at some point, and I don't know if it's established that she fucking mailed it to him or how the hell he got her mom's necklace, but she had given him her mom's necklace.
She mails it to him.
She mailed it to him.
For some reason, I don't know why she would mail it to him.
Why did you mail this?
Yeah.
Why did you mail this to your long-distance boyfriend?
Your boyfriend who you live in the same dorm room as.
Well, no, he had it before she got there, so.
Oh, that was before, but then he gives it back to her.
He gives it back to her.
Because she's
and then
mad,
she gives
and then
it
she
back
mails
to him.
it back to him, yeah.
Yeah, she mails it on, like, a little courier, and then, like, Yuri intercepts it because she's jealous somehow, or she just doesn't want... I don't think she's jealous because she is a lesbian.
Right.
But, like, I think she's just, like, nothing is gonna get in the way of
she's
me trying to get with Julia.
Because this is, like, a huge family issue now,
This is a big thing for me. Fuck you, Dae.
Yep.
Again, we'll get to my opinions on the treatment of Dae on this show, but he's the character I feel the most bad for.
Every time I look at his face, he looks like he's in distress. Like, he is just having the worst time this entire show.
Look, this man is being pushed around by a bunch of rich people. Because I don't think we've established Yuri's an heiress. Minho also has, like, a big actress mother, and I think, like, his dad does something, I forget. I think he's, like, also an actor or, like, a director or something. Mm-hmm. He works in that industry, too. So they're all, like, wealthy and famous and connected.
I looked it up. The actress who plays Minho's mom is the best friend of the second male lead from Boys Over Flowers.
The one that rejected him for his dad? There's a Boys Over Flowers connection.
There's a direct Boys Over Flowers connection.
There's a direct Boys Over Flowers connection.
Because
not
I wanted
just
to look
themes.
at that actress because, like, she looks way too young to be his mother, but she's
absolutely.
Like 42, so she looks
great for
really
42.
good. She looks great.
She looks phenomenal for 42 with a 16-year-old son. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the other thing with Dae, and this is the same thing that happens with Kitty a little bit less, but the actor that plays Dae is the same age as all the other actors, but he looks so much younger, because the actor that plays Dae is the only,
he's like a real, like, Korean K-drama actor.
He was in 25, 21.
He also was a child actor for a lot of
He's been child acting for years. Yep. He was in A Strong Woman. He played the young Jisoo character. Like, he's a K-drama actor.
Yeah.
All these other actors are American or from, I believe, the actor that plays Minho's from, like, Hong Kong, Australia, or like, there's a lot of internationalness going on.
A lot of the adults are real, like, Korean actors, but, like, all the main, like, kids in the
youths.
show. Yeah, the youths.
The youths are all foreign. Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, they're all, like, Korean. I'm not sure, actually. I'm assuming the actress that plays Kitty has a Korean-American background.
Let me
Because she is mixed in the show, so I'm assuming it's
right.
the same.
She's Chinese.
But, never mind.
Chinese-Irish.
Never mind. But I don't know if they were... I don't think they were expecting a spinoff when they cast her as a child for the first movie.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, I think that this show he speaks the best Korean. He does, in my mind, I don't know if I was just hearing things, he seems a little overdubbed sometimes with the English lines, but that's fine. That's something I can look over.
He speaks pretty decent English.
He speaks very good
English. Way better English than I would have expected from him.
Oh, yeah. He speaks the best Korean of all these kids.
A lot of the because there's a decent it's not a lot, but there's a decent portion of the show that just is in Korean. It's mainly the adults when they're talking to each other, because
the adults
why would they speak in English or something? But
even when there's like long stretches of dialogue, like the one I specifically in my mind always goes to is when Yuri and her mom are arguing.
Right.
There's no reason for that argument to be in English.
Right.
But I think it is just because the actress that plays Yuri is...
I don't think she can probably speak Korean well.
I don't know what her Korean language is, because we find out...
She can speak some Korean. She speaks
some Korean, but I don't think and she is Korean born, but I don't know how much time she spent there as a...
But, like, every time we see, like, Day's family, that all of their conversations always in full Korean,
Yeah. But yeah, so there are, I think that it makes sense for that specific character,
right,
who has probably been the most insular in Korean culture to have all Korean and less English skill than everybody else. Right. That makes perfect sense to me in terms of a character perspective, so I think that really works.
Kitty speaks zero Korean the entire show.
None.
Not
Kitty
a single
apparently
word
decided
of
to
Korean.
go to this school and not learn a word.
None.
Learn a word.
No Korean.
Again, I really think that if we get a season 2, which I hope for, not to saying this actress needs to learn fluent Korean.
Learn some Korean.
Something.
Like a little bit.
I would love for I would love for if this show is able to progress for her Korean to get better every season.
Yeah.
Like, not good, like, not fluent,
but like, to be fluent
a little
Korean,
bit.
But just something, yeah.
Or to, like, at least give her, like, a dialect coach so she can, like, phonetically have some Korean in there.
Right.
But, so we're at where were we? In plot?
Where were we in the plot?
We were at Chuseok. We were still at Chuseok. Yeah. So that's what happens at Chuseok. That's the main vibes we're getting. That this is, and then the mom necklace just keeps fucking back and forthing. I think in the end, Day keeps it.
Yeah, probably.
By the end of the show, Day has it.
What's also confusing is that Yuri also has a similar necklace, because it's her and their mom's friendship bracelet. So Yuri has the other half.
Yuri has a similar necklace. Yeah. So, then
I think Yuri might have taken it because she thought it was her mom's.
Maybe. Yeah. But I think by the end, it ends up coming back to Day.
Yeah.
I think at the end, Day is the one that has the necklace in his possession.
Right.
At the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I think that, we go to the next main event.
The Minho party?
Is the Minho party.
Yep.
So Minho throws this big party at a club. He is very insistent that there's no drinking, which I think is hilarious his character.
It's very funny that he was like, there will be no alcohol at this party.
Because he's like, and then my mother, like, idle lives are ruined by alcohol. I can't let this happen. He's very on. And then he's very above board with this.
And he eventually ends up, like, calling the teachers, and he was like, I need help. There's alcohol, and I don't know how to
control this.
And then I love how they call the new teacher. They call Alex first. And then
Kitty drunk calls
Alex, and he shows up and he's like, I don't know what to do about this situation.
Like, I am overwhelmed.
And then Professor Lee shows up and he was like, cool, you're not going to be able to shut this party down because they don't respect you. And he's like, you know what? Sure.
Which is funny. Which is fair. Honestly fair, considering they call him Alex.
Yep.
They should not be calling him Alex. So this is this where we kind of want to bring up the dreams?
Oh, because this is the beginning of the
dreams.
Yeah.
The weird sex dreams that keep happening.
Yes.
So the first weird sex dream is just at the beginning of, I think, the episode where the party happens.
Mm-hmm.
We have Minho having a sex dream about Kitty, where they're just in the dorm and it's like they're gonna, it's flirtatious, it's whatever. And then he wakes up like he's had a nightmare.
Uh-huh.
And then at this party, Kitty and Yuri have a moment where, like, finally Yuri keeps her from getting goddamn roofied by a creep.
Yes.
As is good. Girl code. Do not let your friends get roofied in a club.
Yes.
Even your enemies. No one should get roofied in a club. So then, I think the next episode, Kitty starts to have dreams about, like, weird sex dreams about Yuri.
Yep.
And this is where, like, all of the floodgates are open, because it's like, what?
Wow.
This is not a love triangle. This is a love, like, square? Pentagon? Like, I don't know what shape we're at this point.
It's a lot of people involved.
Because at some point, Juliana comes in for a visit with Yuri, and she's like, oh, that's Kitty. Oh, is that the girl you keep talking about? Like, she's a little jealous. It's like, what?
I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit! There's stuff going on.
It's really gay now.
It's getting real gay. So at some point, also, then after this party, they all get detention.
Yep.
And this is where Yuri finally has mercy on everybody and tells Kitty the whole truth.
Yep.
And is like, and this is what's happening, because he can't tell you. So she just is like, here is all of the things. And I'm like, thank God.
Thank God, finally.
Because we're not dealing with half-truths anymore. And Day's being like, I want to talk to you. It's like,
but
Day.
I have an NDA and I have absolutely no money
to pay it. But yeah, so they're now aware. Kitty and Day are kind of now together.
Yes, finally.
Yes, they're finally now together. They're doing cute couple things. Good for them. I love Day.
Yep.
I don't understand. I'll get to that. I can't do that rant 3 times, but we'll get there.
Get there.
We'll get there. I gotta abstain until we have all the information out. So then we get my favorite cameo. There really aren't many cameos in this show.
Right.
I know that Jenny Han, the author of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, is like has a cameo as like the airline. She's not a stewardess. What is the word I'm looking for? Employee?
Yeah, the reception. I don't
know.
The
receptionist?
Not even
the person that gives you a ticket. The airport. The person you check in with at the airport when you're going for flights and you got to get the ticket. That person, whatever that job title is. But that's really, and then you get a cameo of this time because they're all gonna go out and do like, this seems like volunteer work, but also camping.
Right.
They really. Who cares? That's not important.
They're going on some type of a school trip.
They're going on a school sanctioned trip, and there's camping involved.
Yep.
And then we get Taecyeon. I love Taecyeon.
Taecyeon appears.
Taecyeon appears. He is playing a
Ocean Park.
He could have just been playing himself.
We could have just called him Taecyeon. Like, we did not have to give him a new character name.
Because that character is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, he knows Minho's mom.
Yes.
Makes a very weird sexual comment about Minho's mom about, it's like oh god,
Taecyeon.
we were in Aspen together. She kept me warm. And I'm like, what?
I was like, what a weird thing to say to a high schooler.
To her son. Love that. Absolutely love whatever the fuck is going on with that whole situation.
Also,
He's there for 2 seconds.
I found out there's a random member of Cherry Bullet in this show.
Where?
She plays Lulu, who is the girl that Minho goes on a date with, but that is like in the bush having diarrhea.
Yes. The one that Kitty has to be like, and he's not coming. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Yes, that's Charon from Cherry Bullet.
Surprise, everybody.
Randomly just there for some reason.
She was there for even less time than Taecyeon was.
Yep.
So this is also where Yuri and Kitty share a tent together, and that's where it really goes. Like, they're flirting. There's a lot of flirting.
Yes.
But then when they go back home, there's just a lot of Day and Kitty are having a good time. They're about to have finals. Kitty passes her finals. Yay. Oh, this is also where they kick Day when he's down. So, through in the background, Q and Florian have gotten together.
Yes.
And then there's this, like, little thing where everyone's like, and Florian is cheating on you. Here's the evidence.
Right.
Turns out he wasn't cheating on Q. Turns out Florian was just paying people for, like, test answers. And, like, cheated to get the top spot in the school. Which means that Day might lose his scholarship.
Yeah.
So Day is just having a terrible time.
Just having the worst time of his life this entire show.
Does not deserve anything that's happening to him because he didn't. The worst thing Day did
like,
was
poor like child who like is not, who's also definitely the least rich person at this school. It's just like we gotta keep kicking him. Like constantly.
We have to keep kicking him when he's down. That is the one thing about the show. I'm like, I feel like this show has a weird vibe about the poor.
Yes.
Because why do we keep kicking only one person while they're down? No one else gets kicked like this. No one else gets this kind of treatment in this show. It's only him, and it makes me feel sad.
Very sad for him.
What else happened? Oh, at some point, Yuri and Kitty are like flirting while learning a traditional Korean dance.
Yes. Oh, so when they announced the test scores for the school, the teachers catch that Kitty has been living in the boys' dorm this entire time.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something we skipped over. So Kitty did end up telling them, hey, why am I in the boys' dorm? They moved her to a girls' dorm. And then maybe like 3 days later, she finds out her roommate had been setting up like just a sleep cam.
Right.
24-hour cam on Kitty's bed.
Live stream of her sleeping.
Live streaming it.
And I'm like, that's illegal.
That is so illegal. And also, Minho finds it. Minho, how did you find it? We never get an explanation of how or why he found that.
Everyone is like, well, how did you even find this? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that part. So then she moves back. That is when she moves back. But they just don't tell anybody, which again, tell somebody.
Right? Because at this point, it's too late. And she explains the whole thing about how her roommate was live streaming her while she was asleep, but they still expel her from the school because of this now.
So yeah,
because she's on a scholarship. They they were like, we have to.
Yeah, and at some point during the lovely little like talent show, Kitty tells Day the equivalent of I like you, but I also think I like someone else. He interprets that as her saying she likes Minho. So he like does the most K-drama part of this whole show and like shoves Minho against a wall and is like, how fucking dare you?
And she's like, no,
I added the expletive.
Right.
And then she calls her dad and has my favorite conversation because the dad is awoken. It is the middle of the night in America. The dad is like, what the fuck's going on?
What's going on?
She's like, Dad, I think I might be bi or pan or something. He's like, you can tell this is like he's a sitcom dad at this point. He's like, well, thank God I have contingency plans and I plan for he has 3 daughters. He's like, just in case, I plan for what to say if any of you ever came out. Yeah. Don't worry, you're doing great. Who cares? And it's like, damn.
It's very cute. My favorite thing is like sweet. She says she has something to tell him and he's like, yeah, and he was like, I think I'm bi or pan, and he's like, well, that's great.
Thank God. You can see the relief on that man's face that's like, oh, thank fuck she's not like dead or in jail or something. I don't gotta thank God I don't have to fly to Korea to go get her. It's like, so you weren't expelled? Well, she will be expelled. That didn't happen yet. She will have to call him again and tell her, hey, Dad, I've been expelled. But for now, it's fine. So yes, by the end of it, she reconciles with Jay. They kiss. Everything's great.
I think she does tell him, I think that it's like that the one she was talking about was Yuri.
Yeah. But then so they have a goodbye at the airport. Yuri sees Juliana, so they're back. They're over there in the corridor. So she's like, "Oh, this didn't happen." She gets on a plane, and bam, Minho's in economy with her, going to LA.
Minho's in economy, and her first question is like, "Why are you in economy?"
I'm like wondering why he's in economy.
And also, Yuri calls up her mom, and she's like, "Please don't expel her from the school."
But also, does she have, like, that is also not how that works. There's, like, a panel that decides that shit. Just like how I don't think the principal has the power to single-handedly expel. I don't think she has the power to single-handedly unexpel.
Right.
But also, Yuri's getting her back in school.
Yep.
How shitty is it that they're not helping Day get back in school? Because Day also is probably getting kicked out because he's, like, gonna lose everything.
Because he's poor and he can't afford tuition.
I know.
Oh, it's so sad. It's literally, it feels so bad for him.
Day better be in season 2. This better not be how they get rid of Day.
I know.
For season 2. I'd be so pissed.
Isn't it that it's all about Minho instead?
It's all about Minho and Yuri, and that's the bisexual love triangle
we can't have that. Upset. We can't have it. We cannot
I don't like that. Because the other thing we found out is I found this out from a random TikTok. Yep. Apparently the actress that plays Yuri and the actress that plays Minho are real life siblings.
Yep.
How? Why was that not more advertised to me? Because this is both of their, like, essentially their acting debuts. Yep.
And they haven't done anything else. They just auditioned for this show independently without telling, like, really anybody about it until it was already finalized.
And they both made it. And because they don't have the same last, even if they did have the same last name, one of their last names is Lee, and I think the other one is Kim.
The other one's
Kim. So really, we're not. That's not narrowing it down. But they don't have the same last name.
They don't.
Or they at least don't go by the same last name in their acting.
Right. Wild.
I want to know which one has the stage name.
I know.
Or if they're half-siblings.
They could be half-siblings.
So many options.
I have so many questions about that, honestly.
No one elaborated anymore, and I have so many questions
and no answers about that entire situation.
I'm so upset.
Uh-huh.
But, yes, so that happened. So now, technically, the love triangle is back to square one.
Yep.
We've accomplished nothing other than find out that there's more options because she's bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got to get into
the family drama that's also happening on the side while this is
off to the side at some point, in her like mom's little like photo journal thing, she finds a armband for
like a hospital
armband, wristband. So she goes to the hospital, sneaks in. This is also where she again finds out she's Cupid.
Yep.
And is like, distracts the nurse by being like, you're in love with the janitor. And it's like, what the fuck? How are you this good? Those are strangers. You don't know these people. And somehow you're Cupid. Goes in, is able to like, with, goddamn Korea's got like very low security hospitals. She then gets into the system, just looks up her mom's name, and finds out that for that visit, she had a child that was then adopted to Australia. Also, that would not be in your medical records.
Yep. The adoption, you would not just be able to pull up a piece of paper that said, child adopted to Australia.
That's not how medical records work. Also, again, so many questions on, like, damn, they digitized those 30-year-old records real quick.
Yep.
For it to be, like, very neatly in, like, a searchable location.
Yes. So
and
then,
not just,
it was just everything about that. It was, like, just in a unlocked room on a computer, like, in a closet, seemingly. It was just, like, this is not it, but, you know,
and also fine. Just because, usually, like, I've worked in multiple hospitals, usually, like, patient records is, like, in a basement.
Right.
That was, like, on the first floor.
So
I'm like,
that is such anyone could have gotten
be there?
It feels like anyone could have gotten into that room if they tried.
And also, it does not need to be, like, usually you lay out things where it's like, well, the things that people would need to get to are on the first, are on the upper floors, and stuff for staff are on the lower floors. So, like, why would it need to be on the first floor for patient records? There's no, it's not like it's an office. They can't request them through there. It's just a closet.
Yep.
So weird. But yeah, so she finds out that they're, and then
surprise,
surprise.
She has a half sibling somewhere.
Surprise, surprise. Guess who is also seemingly adopted and from Australia.
Yeah.
And adopted.
Yep.
Alex!
Yeah, so Kitty pretty easily clocks that it's Alex. It's him.
Even though, you know, there's definitely more than one Korean
Australian man that exists, but you know,
in the world.
Yep.
So yes, so she clocks it. She tells him, because I'm like, yo, no, that's not totally overwhelming for your random student to be like, and you're my half brother.
And she does, before she even tells him any information, she just is, like, very weird around him, where she's, like...
She is.
She's, like, inviting him
from
on,
his
like,
perspective.
Dates. It feels like she, like, from his perspective, it probably feels like she's inviting him onto dates or something weird.
Which is weird.
Very weird.
Like, they go to, like night markets together. She invites him to Chuseok. I'm like, why the fuck are you inviting? And then, obviously, Teacher Lee comes there and ruins it.
Right.
So... As this progresses, we kind of clocked everything that was going to happen as it happened. Because we're like, but what if it's not her half-sibling? In my mind, my favorite thing would have been is that, like, there is a half-sibling out there.
It's just a completely separate person.
Not him.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different person that they have to go find.
Right.
But that would have just sucked for Alex. so bad.
So we first find out that Alex has clocked somehow that Professor Lee is his dad.
I don't know how he found that out. That does not make sense to me.
Specifically.
Did he, that doesn't make any sense to me, because Professor Lee's an asshole and does not give Alex the time of day.
Professor Lee up as, like, a really shitty person.
Which he is.
Yes. And so then Kitty's like, so my mom and Professor Lee had a child, and that's you. And so she tells him that, and he's just like, okay, that's a lot to process. I'll talk to you about it later.
And then we find out on the off chance is that why Yuri's mom was so cagey about everything is that it's not. She just essentially says, well, I checked into a hospital with my American roommate's name. And I'm like, that's also not how you check into hospitals. That's such a shitty thing to do. And then her and Professor Lee were together, and she never told Professor Lee any of this.
No.
And he's pissed.
He was like, why would you not tell me I have a child?
He's like, well, you went to you were going to America to study music. He's like, I didn't want to ruin that for you. And he's like, ruin what? Ruin what exactly? Yeah. I'm like, fair enough.
So now, spoiler.
What was she ruining?
Now it's Yuri who has a step sibling.
Surprise,
Surprise half sibling.
Surprise half sibling. That's great. Also, it does not seem like Professor Lee and the principal are still flirting.
Yes.
Like, there's still something
very much
there.
Setting up, like, the principal is gonna divorce her, like, shitty rich husband.
Shitty husband.
Shitty rich husband, yeah.
Shitty rich husband. Also, we have so many opinions for season 2 that we will get to in a second, but let's finish up on season 1. Mm-hmm. I thought this was great.
It was really fun. It was so much fun and way better than I could have ever expected it to be. So,
we haven't even mentioned the weird background characters.
Oh yeah, there's just a guy with a lizard who is around the entire time, and he's
actually credited as just Iguana Kid.
Yeah.
Iguana Kid is how he's quoted.
There's also
white girl.
She's the daughter of the hospital chain that I think Yuri's dad is trying to acquire.
And at one point, Minho makes the joke that Kitty is out here trying to acquire Korean men like Pokemon. She's out here acquiring the Korean men like Pokemon.
That's what that girl's doing, is she's acquiring Korean men.
Her and Minho kiss. Mm-hmm. At the part, I think he kisses her at his party.
I think purely out of jealousy.
Purely out of jealousy, because he sees Kitty and it's like, oh, she's hot,
right?
And then Kitty's all over Day, and it's like, never mind.
I guess I'll settle for this other white girl who's here.
And then he gets really into the white girl.
Yes.
And the white girl has a chance with Tekken and is like, I don't think this is gonna work out.
It's like, man,
he's like, we're here. I am here only for like the friends with benefit situations.
Right.
I don't want real relationships with you. Which, you know what? Fair enough, girl.
Sure.
He's like, she's even like, I thought you knew that this wasn't like a relationship, and he was just getting really invested. Mm-hmm. I'm like, good for her. Minho sucks.
Minho sucks.
Minho
sucks, but in like a really endearing kind of a way.
Minho, I love as a character. Yes, he's amazing.
He's a fantastic character.
Do I understand why everyone is like, no, Minho and Kitty is the end game?
No,
I don't. Absolutely not.
I don't get that at all. If like of all of the people in this show, like that's the one I want the least.
I know. In my mind, there are 5 ways this could end. Mm-hmm. And I said these 5 ways before I realized that they were siblings. So my favorite way can't
we gotta
happen.
get rid of one of them.
So one of my favorite one, my number one, if we were to recast either Yuri or Minho with a different person that were not siblings, just let's just take me on there, is full polyamory. Everyone's together.
Yes.
Somehow we also find out that Day is bi, Minho's bi. Everyone's just having a great time. That's way 1. That's the best way.
Polyamory.
Way 2 is Yuri, Day, Kitty, throuple. That's second best way. I think way 3 that's the best is Day and Kitty. Way 4 is Kitty and
Yuri.
Kitty and Yuri. And then way 5 is Minho and Kitty.
Yeah.
Those are the top 5 ways this show could end.
I don't want the Minho Kitty endgame. That's really, I don't like it. Like I like
that's
that.
I'm saying that like that's an option of how it could end. And it's my least favorite option.
I feel like the writers
are
too.
leaning in that direction.
No, I feel like
the fans want it.
No, but I feel like the writers want to make it a lesbian thing, because that would be great.
I want to make it a lesbian thing. Again, I think by the end of the show, if we do make it a lesbian thing, I'm gonna need Day to find a nice girl.
Yes.
Because I don't think Day does not deserve to end this show alone.
Dave does not deserve anything that happened to him on this show.
Day does not deserve to be involved with these people.
A lot of people hate him for some reason.
And I don't know why. He's just
poor
a sweet
kid is
boy.
having the worst time of his life. Like,
the poor kid. The worst thing that Day did was Day did lie to Kitty that he was rich, but that is because Kitty finds him on this like super trip to Korea that her whole family's doing, and like she goddamn FaceTimes him from like her massive backyard pool.
Right.
It's like, yeah, no, I think he's probably a little
insecure about it.
Little
probably.
Insecure. Yeah, I don't know why Day needs to be like vilified. It's like he hasn't lied to anybody. He can't say anything because he's under an NDA.
Yeah.
His family's already destitute.
I think people are probably just mad
it.
because he seemingly takes forever to tell Kitty about what happened, but it's like, he really doesn't have the opportunity to. He is trying to, like, let me explain, and Kitty's like, no, and then when she's finally ready to listen, he's under an NDA and he can't, so.
Exactly. He's trying he ran after her in his pajamas trying to explain and then got kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. I think people just like Minho because he's like the bad boy, and people like
he is the bad boy. Again, to go back to Boys Over Flowers, he is the Lee Min-ho character.
He is.
And the Lee Min-ho character, as we've said in our extensive viewings of Boys Over Flowers, the character is the worst character.
He sucks.
He's awful. This guy is a little too self-centered, for my opinion. He's a lot. He's great side character. He's not a good male lead, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Day does not deserve. I wish it was lesbians. I think Kitty and Yuri would be really fun.
Yes.
I think if you want to push boundaries, we should make it a throuple. If you want to push more boundaries. If you want to be the biggest boundary pusher, make it a throuple. Please. Mm-hmm. I'm begging for a throuple. Day does need to be involved in that throuple, though.
Yes. He does.
Because Day does not just... Then again, what is better? Do we also just then want Day to be just find one nice girl that's not gonna, like, push him around like a toy?
Yeah, I would.
Because that's also what Day feels like.
I know. I feel so bad for him.
I feel like Day is... Maybe that's also why people are not super into
because
Day.
He's not.
Because the writers treat him like a toy that all these rich people are having to like share.
In a way, Minho's character is written more as your stereotypical like male lead, and then Day is.
Oh, absolutely.
Day feels very much not like your first male lead type of character. Yeah.
In a weird way, Day doesn't even feel like the second male lead. Yuri feels more like the second male lead.
Yeah.
In terms of writing style.
Yeah, definitely. Because
the thing with the when I found out that I thought that the writers were actually hinting toward the Minho Kitty thing, is that, and this is a K-drama thing. This isn't an American thing, so I don't know if these writers actually know about it. But it's the fact that she meets him first.
Yeah.
She has the stereotypical meeting of the drama leads with him, and it's the first thing you see for a while.
Yes.
So, like, that, in terms of K-dramas, is sort of why I was expecting, like, oh shit. And then that's the plane scene at the end.
This is the end game, actually.
This is end game here. I think that's what the writers are hinting toward.
Right.
But I think it all depends on the perception of the show, and that's what the people want. I've been on TikTok for forever, and I saw no one talking about the lesbians, and I'm like, how dare you not talking about this
when it was like the biggest plot twist the show had to offer? Like,
and honestly, my favorite part of this show is that we just added more options. Mm-hmm. Like, no one is everyone's only talking about her and Minho,
and I feel like boiling the show down and focusing so much on Kitty and Minho takes away a lot from the show, because that feels like such the side plot of side plots, Kitty and Minho, than all of the other stuff that's going on in it. It's just
like I can see as the show progresses and they're gonna have to pick a team, because there's 3 teams now. Right. It's like Day, Yuri, and Minho.
Right.
At this point, you wanna know what I'm team? I'm Team Day, but not Team Day in the way that I want him to do with Kitty. In the way that I just want Day to have a good life.
I would like Day to be happy in some way.
I just want happiness.
I would like for
Day.
him to not have a sad life like he currently does.
Because I'm so upset about him. Like, dear God, we better not have written Day off.
It's sad. I feel like he's the easiest character they can write off, too, because he is
I know, because he has no connections.
Actor. Yeah.
Because the other thing is, like, he also has no connections to the plot, in a way.
Right.
Because he can easily get kicked out of school.
He's the easiest character for them to write off the show, yeah.
He's so easy to write off. And I would be so upset.
I know.
I'm so sad for him if they write him off. Because he does not deserve it.
He doesn't deserve. Do you want to talk about all of the K-pop that is just the soundtrack for the show? Because
I was about to say that,
an absolutely absurd amount of K-pop songs in this, and a lot of them are like
random.
Are like very random.
Very random.
Super random. So I have a list here.
Yes, you have the
all of the songs. So they also list the non-K-pop songs, so I'm just going to skip those. So in episode 1 alone, we have 17's Hot, BTS's Telepathy, Momoland's Bam, Blackpink's Pink Venom, Somi's What You Waiting For, and 17's Darling You. That's a lot already to put into episode 1. We do get less and less of the K-pop as the longer it goes on.
There is less. Mm-hmm. Some of these I don't actually remember.
Same.
Because I don't remember, like in episode 10, apparently Everglow's No Good Reason
I don't
is on
remember
here, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah. Episode 2, we got Blackpink's You Never Know and Somi's XOXO, because that feels like, that Somi song feels like the perfect song to have as a soundtrack
should be in every season if we're gonna keep it.
Because that feels like it's perfect for the theme song
in episode 4, somehow we have both Stray Kids is Venom and Stray Kids is Maniac. Mm-hmm. And also Twice is like,
that's the JYP episode.
That is the JYP episode.
Episode 3, you don't get any K-pop.
No, there's no K-pop in episode 3. Episode 5 has Wonho's Best Shot and Giddles and G-Idol's Han Alone in Winter.
Mm-hmm. Episode 6 is really kind of wild because we get Itzy's really Boombox for some reason. Yeah. And then we got 88 Rising and BB with The Weeknd. And
just feels like we got random things.
And then we get Somi Dum Dum and Itzy's Icy in episode 7, and and Glencheck. Maria very excited about the fact that there was Glencheck in these.
A lot of Glencheck.
Maria having like a mental breakdown hearing Glencheck in the soundtrack for this show.
Episode 8 has From His 9 Stay This Way, more Glencheck, and then 9.
Nothing is a 9.
Nothing in 9, and then 10 has Everglow's No Good Reason.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, before we continue this, you want to read Maria's statement?
Oh yeah, let's read. Maria has a statement she wished for us to read in the episode.
Because she couldn't be here today.
Yes.
So we were given a statement for her to read.
Okay, it says, okay, my thoughts, it's a solid teen show that did not go the typical K-drama route, was convoluted a little bit, we got an ending somehow, and I mean, it's a teen show. Lol. They definitely set up for a season 2, not sure on an endgame yet for our girly Kitty, but nice since she's basically bi, so this will be interesting following her journey. Not sure even though she and Day split if things are truly over between the two of them, but she do need to sort out her own romantic feelings and figure things out. So growth-wise, the best for the show. Feel bad for Day, who was stuck with an NDA, manipulated by Yuri and her family. Family is poor. Can't tell Kitty because of an NDA, and then when he finally gets with Kitty, she catches feelings for Yuri, so she's guilty and breaks up with him, even though I think she's not over Day. Yeah, Day having a terrible time.
Day having the worst time
imaginable.
Maria did fully just contextualize our, half-hour conversation on Day into, this is what happened, poor
and
boy.
It's bad. Would be wild if the show is them trying other people and then getting back together in the end, more grown and sure of themselves, but I don't know, the possibilities are endless. Maybe everyone is gay. Poor Day, pour one out for him.
Pour one out for our boy.
Feel bad for the Greek-French kiddo. That's a Q, I think.
Florian. No, that's Florian.
He needs a hug. They probably all do. The subplot with the teacher was interesting. Not sure where that will go. And if Kitty's mom has more secrets we aren't aware of.
I would actually like for at some point us to get an actual secret about Kitty's mom. Yes. Because the secret we found out was nothing to do with her.
It was not about Kitty's mom. I would love for that in season 2 to get something actually secretive about Kitty's mom.
Because after she finds out about her mom's secret child, she sort of stops trying to connect with her mom because she's like, I got it.
Right.
And it's like, no, girly, you got nothing.
Girly, that's not your half-sibling
That's not your brother. Yep. So, let's maybe find something about your actual mother.
Yes. Since this is a story based off an existing property, it will be interesting to see how they take it forward. Homies, please list out all the K-pop on the show, and I recognize most of it. Honestly, was happiest at the end of episode 7 because of Glenn Sheck, Dazed and Confused. I love that song, but also Glenn Sheck was one of the first indie electronic Korean artists I got into into K-pop. Love their albums. Hot Culture and Youth, they are amazing and iconic for me in high school and college, so I freaked out because of that. Would highly recommend you check them out, and everyone. Their song Sins is also in the show. I like that one too.
So
Maria, very excited for
really
Glenn Sheck.
The Glenn Sheck. Very excited for the Glenn Sheck. No, she hit the nail on the head. Would love for something to actually be about Kitty's mom.
Yes.
I do
Feel
really
real
think
bad for Day.
Real bad for oh god, sweet boy. We needed.
Yeah.
I'm Team Day.
Team Day.
Not in
terms of like the ship, but just like hope he's okay.
I need him to be okay.
Yes.
Nothing has made me actually want to watch 2521.
Mm-hmm.
And this also kind of doesn't. But like I want to go see how Day does in like real K-dramas.
Right.
Because also, I hope that this helps his career. I'm going to need this to be the Netflix's new Emily in Paris. Not in quality. Emily in Paris fucking sucks. But I need this to be a show that people look at and are like, how does it keep getting renewed? And 2, why does it have so many seasons? Because I'll be there every season. I'll be there every season.
Yes. This
needs to be our Netflix show.
Yes. But I didn't think this would be the one, but it is somehow.
No. Again, we've reviewed a lot of Netflix shows. We have full episodes on Squid Game.
Yes.
Vincenzo.
Ugh.
We've watched so many of them.
Love it.
And the best
and they've been awful.
And they've all been awful. The best one. We have given a more positive review to Exo Kitty than we did to Squid Game
and Vincenzo.
And Vincenzo, but mainly Squid Game that I'm like, damn. This is really where we show our true colors. Why do people listen to us?
Someone out there also has to have that opinion, I'm sure.
Somebody.
Two
of us do.
Uh-huh.
Maria's also seen all of those shows. Maria also probably agrees.
Yeah. Like, I get Squid Game objectively is a better show, but did I have more fun watching this show? Absolutely.
Or in terms of, like, things I actually want to watch the season 2 of?
Yeah. I will watch the season 2 of Squid Game out of obligation in a way, but I'm not going to have fun.
No, here's the thing. I will watch season 2 of Squid Game mainly out of societal obligation.
True.
Because that's going to be the only thing that's talked about in, like, the outside world, and I'm like, well, I gotta be part of this.
I know. I will not enjoy it, and I will complain about it the whole time, though, so, already expecting that.
But you know what? I am interested to see how this goes. I am interested to see what are the options here. Mm-hmm. Everyone's having a great time.
Yes.
And we could just make it a throuple.
That would be great.
I'm really rooting for throuple here.
Uh-huh.
And then Minho finds another girl somewhere.
Yes.
It's fine.
Please.
Go find a girl somewhere else.
Yes. So that has been Exo Kitty. Surprisingly a very good show.
So, I mean, we were out here expecting to shit on it.
I know. We really put this in this podcast schedule because we thought it was going to be terrible, and it was so much better than I expected. And we don't get that often, so that's really it's really nice.
No. And here's the other thing. We put this on the schedule to shit on it. And here's the thing. If we had not put it on the schedule, neither of us would have watched it. Uh-huh. This is not like Squid Game where it's like an outer like no one has spoke about this show, which is also why we're scared of it getting canceled. So please actually watch it, please. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to watch it, just leave it on and let it play. Netflix won't know.
Yep.
Please, because I need a season 2.
Yep.
I want a season 2 real bad.
Please.
It's for us. We watch so much shit for this podcast.
We do.
Let us have our fun
with this one show. Let us have
with
something.
Our one show. It's all we want.
I know.
But
yes, that has been the episode. It was very good.
Oh, I loved it.
So we are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our videos as well, along with fun clip videos occasionally too. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.